Alright, so I'm going to be talking about the sign of Aquarius today. I'm going to be delineating the sign of Aquarius today, right? So, Aquarius, which is the sign of uniqueness, the sign of difference, the sign of I'm special. I'm special. Nobody's like me. I'm unique. Aquarius people let that stuff get into their head, you know. Aquarius is also the sign of rebellion. It is a sign of independence, the sign of independence. It is a sign of friendship and networking, right? And we talk about friendship here, right? So, and Aquarius is also the sign of universal brotherhood. Brotherhood, still, like, if you consider that what the sign of Aquarius means in terms of brotherhood, you see that you know, Aquarius has Gemini in the fifth place. The fifth place, like I said, is where your heart is. It's where love is. It's the things that you love naturally. The things that you love. It is, your natural tendency, your natural ability, your natural strength. You understand me? Yes, it's to some extent is your natural inclination to things, but primarily natural inclination to anything is the first house, which is your response, your first response to anything at all is the first place. You understand me? The first thing that you resort to do is going to be described by this place. So Aquarius people, have Gemini in the fifth house, which is the place of strength, the natural strength, talent, and where all of that stuff goes to. And even consider that Aquarius is a sign of the nerd, right? Aquarius being the sign of the nerd, also having Cancer here in the sixth place of health conditions, which what we primarily know nerds as is those putting on glasses. In my past video, where I talked about the astrology of human anatomy, I talked about Cancer ruling the eyes, and Aquarius having Cancer in the sixth place, right, of the eyes, which is health conditions that have to do with the eyes. So, of course, putting on glasses. You understand what I'm saying here? So, this is also an indication of Aquarius being the nerd, is also indicated by this play. But like the strength, the natural strength and talent of Aquarius is the sign of Gemini, which is reading. You understand? Journaling, studying. That is what Aquarius is known for. But consider that this is also the sign of brotherhood, like having the sign of Gemini, which is the sign of brothers, siblings in the fifth house. This is a natural strength, Talking about Aquarius being the sign of socialization. I mean, what is the strength? What would then be the very pillar, like the strength of socialization? Is communication. They have communication in the fifth place. So, which is also the place of love, which is the fifth place, the place of love, loyalty. You find that most Aquarius have that one sibling that they love so much, that they are very close to, that they talk to about anything, they communicate to about a lot of things. You understand me? You find Aquarius people who have siblings are very close to siblings. They'll have that one friend that is like their best friend that they call a brother. This person is my brother, it's not my friend, that's my brother. So Aquarius people have those people, they tell those people a lot of things about themselves. These people are social creatures, you have to understand. You have talking about them being social creatures because this is a sign of socialization. Aquarius is a sign of socialization. So these people have social creatures. Like if you consider that they have Gemini in the ninth place, the ninth place also talks about the place which indicates the things where you go overboard, where you overindulge in things. You understand? The human interaction is what Libra is. So Aquarius people, being the sign of socialization, where they go overboard is in human interaction. They do all of that stuff also. And Libra also in the ninth place here points to a lot of things, because the ninth place points to the things that you're constantly seeking. And if you take into consideration that Aquarius is a sign of rebellion, you understand what I'm saying? The sign of rebellion. Why would rebellion go overboard in the place of, it's in the place of seeking justice. The ninth place is the place of the thing you're constantly seeking. The Aquarius, by natural inclination, that are mostly seeking for justice. And you find the ninth place is the place of education and school and all that stuff. So you find that most Aquarius, are like this in the school environment. This is where they picked up that sense of fighting for other people. Libra is the sign of other people. Seeking justice for other people is what Libra in the ninth place of Aquarius points to. You understand what I'm saying? So this is something they normally do. And the ninth place is education, is your school environment and all that stuff. So these people often are inclined to, fight for justice for other people, like their fellow students and all of that stuff. And when it comes to the school environment, they don't know a senior, they don't know junior. As long as an Aquarius is concerned, you're all putting on uniform. All of you are equal. As long as an Aquarius is concerned, we are all putting on uniform. We are all equal. There's nothing like senior. There's nothing like junior. All that stuff that gets into people where like a senior Aquarius is the first to always suppose. And when you consider that they have Aries in the third place of communication, Aries points to how very sharp their mind is. I mean, how would a rebel speak if you consider that the third house is communication where they have Aries? I mean, considering how their mind is, right? These people have audacity when it comes to speaking, when it comes to saying what they want to see. They have the audacity. And why it's like this, Aries points to yourself. You know, these people think for themselves. This is the third house of thinking, communication, speaking. Do you understand? These people think for themselves. Aries is the self. These people think for themselves, right? So when it comes to speaking, these people are very direct, without fear or favor. And Aquarius is going to tell, of course, what would a rebellious sign, how would a rebellious sign speak? You understand what I'm saying? So having Aries in the third house is indication of having a very sharp mind and being very direct and straightforward when they are speaking. They don't cut corners. They just say it the way it is. They don't, fear. The way people often say that Aquarius people are too rebellious. They don't respect authority. They have a strong disdain. They can't stand authority. Now I say that Aquarius, the 12th place here is the place that indicates the things that you lack, or also the things that you can't stand about other people, the things you can't condone about other people. They can't condone restrictions, limitations, rules, and regulations. Aquarius people don't. They don't care about your rules and regulations. They can't stand it. What do you mean rules and regulations? Everybody is supposed to be free to express themselves. You understand my point? It's what it is. And with the strength, even Gemini is a sign of self-expression, yes. And there's have it in the fifth place of a strength. This is a natural tendency towards things. Self-expression, the freedom of expression, the freedom of speech is what Aquarius points to. I mean, I talked about Sagittarius about that, but Aquarius is freedom in any capacity, whether speech or anything, any capacity at all. This is why the sign of limitations and restrictions is in their 12th place. They can't stand it. And if you look at it, Aquarius just outside of people like pointing to the sign of freedom. The 12th house where Capricorn is for Aquarius is indicative of the 12th house is the things that you lack. So Aquarius have no sense of boundary or limitation or rules and regulation. They just go and get stuff done. And when it comes to the education sector, fighting for their peers, fighting for their fellow students, and all, they go all out. This is a constant seeking for justice for other people, And then when it comes to also their love life, they have Leo in the 7th place. Leo is the sign that opposes Aquarius. You understand? Yeah. So having Leo here, Leo is a sign of love and loyalty. It's the kind of love that you feel for, anything at all, that even if you grow old with that thing, your heart is there. Leo is the heart. It's ruled by the sun, just like when the sun shines, right? And it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't say this person is wicked or this person is bad. I'm not going to shed my light on them. The sun shines light on everybody. Leo is love. The things you take pride in, the things you love that you take pride in is Leo. These people fall in love. No doubt. Aquarius people will fall in love. But Leo is also the sign of your childhood, which is the sign of the child, your childhood and your teenage, your youthful age, your very young teenage life is what it is. These people are on a clock to only find love within this period of their life. Once an Aquarius experience a relationship in their teenage, 1 or 2, however that relationship turns out, they've drawn conclusion and the fact that relationship doesn't work and people are just full of shit. That is how the period that they have in them to communicate. Now, the only thing that can keep these people committed, because the 7th place is commitment and relationship and love language, the only love language they will understand if there is no loyalty is if a child is in the picture. That is when an Aquarius now wants to calm down and be like, okay, now I have a child, okay, I think I need to be responsible. So now that a child is in the picture, I got this girl pregnant. I'm talking about the guys in this scenario. I got this girl pregnant now. Let me just, for the sake of this baby that is coming, and they just calm down. That is what this particular indication here is. Without loyalty, they are not staying. They don't want to do a relation. And you consider that Aquarius is a sign of detachment. Aquarius is a sign of detachment. Also, I talked about Cancer being in the 6th place. I talked about just being the nerd. But if you consider the sixth place is also the place of service that you render to people, rendering or receiving of services in this place, and it's also the place of your employment status. You understand, like the work that you do and all of that stuff. So Aquarius people mostly love to work from home. Of course, what would make sense that Aquarius is a sign of independence, like being self-employed, right? Like working from home. You understand, remote job is what an Aquarius is inclined to do. You see, you'll find that most tech jobs are mostly remote jobs. They employ people that are mostly work from home and they pay them. Well, Aquarius is a sign of tech. So when it comes to the job aspect of Aquarius, employing people, getting people to work and all of that stuff, is mostly working from home. Remote job is the design of Aquarius as tech. When it comes to tech, Aquarius, that is the design. That is the design. So working from home is something Aquarius people are inclined to do. They don't like, remember, they can't stand authority figures. Good morning, boss. Yes, sir. Yes, ma. Aquarius people can't. they can't stand any of that stuff. You see, so working from home is something you also consider that Aquarius people are inclined to. And that thing, yes, Cancer is the mom, or perhaps the nurturing parent, which in some home is the dad that is the nurturing parent. So these people often have their sense of work, which is this place, and routine and daily and hygiene and their daily routine from the nurturing parent. Like they got that side of them from their nurturing parents. That more like it's an hereditary trait that they got. Not more like it's actually an hereditary trait that they got from their nurturing parent, whoever it is, whether it's the mom or the dad. They got that sense of hygiene, work, routine, daily routine and all that stuff. They got it from their, from the nurturing parent, you understand? And they are usually of service to this particular parent, if you understand what I mean. They're usually of service to the family. Aquarius people are always willing to serve within their family unit, you understand me? So in the fourth place here, they have Taurus, which is the sign of provision, you understand, and food. And the fourth place is the home. Aquarius people always have food at home. Yes, Aquarius people have food at home. Another thing too that they have at home, they love their space to be decorated with things that are very, very luxurious. These people love to have a luxurious space. They love to live in a luxurious home. In a home that is, decorated with, seriously, I mean expensive things. When I say luxury, yes, luxury. I mean, what then would independence be? What then would the sign of independence point to if their domestic situation is just just anyhow, this me just speaking in the Nigerian term here. Anyhow, you understand? But basically it's just like not well put together and all that. No, Aquarius people love their own space to be, they love the luxury, you understand? Get me a good set of chairs, get me a good cushion, get me a good bed set, or get me a good bed frame and all. Hang this stuff on the wall. I like this decoration. Hang this stuff there for me. Let me put this stuff. I want to buy this stuff and put here. This is Aquarius people, so that they can come back home. You understand? And enjoy that sense of freedom. Being in this space where it is so comfortable for them that they love to thrive in that space is what these people will spend most of their money decorating their living space. That is one thing I guarantee with Aquarius. They will spend most of their money decorating their living space. That is one thing you take with Aquarius people. That is how they go about it. You have Pisces in the second house. Is it the second house, right? Is your money, is your bank account and all of that thing. It's whether your source of income or all of that stuff, right? Pisces in the second house Pisces is privacy. You understand? Pisces is privacy. And Pisces is also secrecy. It's also the things that you love to hide. These people can hide money. Aquarius people hide money a lot. Trust any Aquarius person have somewhere they keep money. It's that they have a secret bank account that they will never tell you how much they have there. Or they will just won't tell you the exact figure they are earning. If they tell you, fine. On very rare cases, it requires trust. Pisces is the sign of trust. This guy requires trust for them to even divulge those situations. You understand me? And even if they tell you, trust me, you need to suspect an Aquarius. Aquarius tells you how much they earn. They have where they are keeping money that you will not know of. You want to know this one, you're so nosy, you want to know, they are going to tell you. But there's another money that you will never know that they are getting. I don't know if you understand. I mean, what then is independence? If I would just divulge information about my financial, my source of income or how much I earn, you understand my point? That's not independence. Independence is keeping everything, just I call the shots on my own terms. Aquarius being the sign of freedom. I call the shots on my own terms. That is what freedom is. You understand what I'm saying? So having Pisces in this place is also another indication that apart from the fact that they are very private with their money and all of that stuff, they also spend a lot of money going to the cinema, like watching movies. These people do that, and they are fond of. These are the people that you see that will get a phone stand and be watching their movies, and they are eating and they are watching the movie. And if they just scoop, they just take one spoon and an interesting scene just pass, they will rewind it. These are people that eat when we're watching movies. These are people that also spend money watching movies too. You understand me? Yeah. These are people that spend money on relaxation. You understand? What is freedom? Spend money to relax, like going overseas. This is what Aquarius is. Pisces is the sign of overseas. You understand? And they have in the second place of how they spend money. So this will spend money on relaxing. What is freedom? Spend your money so that you can relax, be in solitude, and that is what Aquarius is. I don't know if you guys understand me. So we have run through here. So in the 8th place here, they have Virgo, which is indicative of their vitality. You understand? Virgo is a sign of health conditions. Having it in the 8th place, hygiene. You understand? A lot of Aquarius have a lot of issues with allergies and a lot of health conditions. Mostly you find that most of the nerds that you see is just that energy of being a nerd. You find that most nerds are usually experiencing sickness. That some of the people you even find that are very intelligent, like people that are sickle cells. You see them out, they have issues, they are at the young age, they're already putting on glasses, but they're always falling sick. That is the energy of Aquarius. Not that those people are Aquarius, but that energy of being a nerd usually comes with challenges of having health conditions. Another thing here is hygiene. You understand my point? This is how people often, when it comes to transforming situations. So Virgo is, analytical thinking. You understand? When it comes to when they want to change a situation, consider the fact that they are the sign. This is the sign of rebellion, right? And also the sign of change too. And they have analytical thinking and detailed in the 8th place of transformation. So when it comes to transformation, these people analyze situations. They go into the nitty-gritty of the details to analyze the situation, then they go out and begin to get stuff done. Because this is then not transform. This is where they gather the information and they now go all out. They go overboard with seeking justice for people, for other people. This is where they do that stuff. You understand? And that 18 years hygiene. It's hygiene. It's something that a lot of them battle with, but also it's something that they are quite very, very, very particular about. You understand? Very, very particular about that. More like if you're someone who has a very poor hygiene, Aquarius is going to leave you the fuck alone. Yes. If you're someone with a very poor hygiene, Aquarius is suddenly you know these people, they have everything in the third house, so they are mostly direct when they speak. They're just going to tell you up front, bro, you're not smelling. You just came out from the bedroom and you're not smelling, bro. Did you bath today? Did you take your bath today? These are Aquarius people. Bro, you need to go and shower. Bro, you need to go and shower. I mean, even when it comes to how their life ought to change, they go about changing their daily routines and, their hygiene, their dieting pattern. This is how they go about, changing situations in their life. The entire routine, they change it. You understand what I'm saying? Having that sign of change, being the sign of change of any kind too. But Aquarius change is change that has to do with upgrades. I've talked about this before. Aquarius is a sign that is change in the sense it has to do with upgrade. It's more like your phone app is outdated and then there's an update. You understand? That's the kind of change. It's not like Scorpio. Scorpio is death and rebirth. A thing dies, then it's being reborn. But Aquarius doesn't go like it doesn't flow like that. You understand? The change that Aquarius symbolizes is the change that has to do with upgrade. Just keep improving. You understand? You assess situations, like you go into the detail. Okay, this stuff that was done, it needs to be improved upon, and then it's improved upon, and then there's a new version of it. That is how Aquarius works. You understand? That is because it's a sign of technology. So all of that stuff you see in technology, upgrade and all, the people doing tech, they know these things. They know cosmic law. Stop playing. They know cosmic law. They know these things. This is how you find the tech industry operate, by the very archetype of this thing. I mean, I'm reading people here, but if I say I want to go into breaking down all the signs points to as regards to our world that we live in today. It's crazy because I'm going to touch on how these things and I will expose, you understand, the activities of man right here. Talking about the activities of man, I know some people will say, Aquarius, why is Aquarius an air sign if this aqua means water? Aquarius is the sign, the sign that it symbolizes as a man holding a pitcher of water. Water is aquatic, you understand? So pouring out from a pitcher of water is what Aquarius is. That is why its name is Aquarius, but it's an air sign. Stop getting confused with the nomenclature, the name. Or is it semantics, you people call it? But you know what I'm talking about. Stop getting carried away with the name. Listen to what the archetype of this is pointing to. Every sign that sits on an element, whether it's an earth sign, it will have a sign that is on the same element in the 5th place and the 9th place. This is geometry. Stop bringing your emotions into it. This is geometry. It follows this pattern. This is law. Your emotions cannot override it. Aquarius is an air sign. Leave the name alone. Leave it alone. It's an air sign. Leave the name alone. That is a symbol of the man holding a picture of water. That's what Aquarius is. You know, Aquarius has Sagittarius in the 12th place. Aquarius is a sign of friends. You know, when you say a sign of friends, what does it also mean? It points about having a lot of friends, many friends. Because Sagittarius in the 11th place is a sign of, Sagittarius is the sign of multiplicity, having things in abundance, having things in many, you understand, in large numbers. It's what Sagittarius is, and they have it in the 11th place here, right? So the 11th place is the place of friendship. So having a lot of friends is something you know about Aquarius, and most of their friends, they make most of their friends in the school environment. You understand? Some of them have friends that have traveled abroad. Some of them have those friends. Most of them keep friends from school days. Yes, most Aquarius make their friends from school. You know, all that being busy fighting for justice, this is where, you know, they get on the good side of people and people keep them as friends and keep, you know, getting in touch with them from time to time. So most of their friends come from the school environment. And, you know, some of their friends too, these are people that love to make friends with foreigners. Yeah. These will love to make friends with foreigners. There's no bounds. You understand? Aquarius is also the sign of no bounds. Just like I spoke about Pisces when I was talking about the sign of Capricorn. It's the sign of no bounds. You understand? Sagittarius knows no bound because it's ruled by Jupiter. It knows no bounds. It's the sign of no bounds. So there is no range, there is no limit to how far an Aquarius can expand their network or can make friends. You understand? The network, they make friends with foreigners, people from diverse culture. You understand what I'm saying? This is something you know the Aquarius people. So having Scorpio in the 10th place, having Scorpio in the 10th place, see, most Aquarius people, because they are rebels, because they are rebels and they can't stand authority figures, most of these people, ask them, they're always having issues with their father. They always hold resentment to their father because when the man says something they don't like, they always want to, this their, what is it called? Aries in the third house, part of the communication aspect of their energy, of the archetype of their, the third archetype of their energy, which is the third place of their energy, which is where, you see, they are going to want to oppose. The audacity for them to say, no, I'm not in support of that stuff. Most of them hold resentment against their dad. Against the disciplining parents. One of the parents, they hold resentment against their dad. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So another thing too, considering that, you know, Aquarius is a sign of rebellion. You know, the 10th house is the public. You understand? So having Scorpio in the 10th, you understand, it's transformation. You understand what rebellion is now, that is transforming. Going out there in the public and transforming situations. You know, like there's a celeb, I don't want to mention his name, you guys know him, he's always out there fighting for people. It's not necessarily that it's an Aquarius, no. That is not because of that. But that energy of fighting for other people, of seeking justice for other people, that is Aquarius energy. We are in the age of Aquarius and someone is doing that. That is how we're supposed to be going. We're supposed to even be looking into astrology, astronomy. This is the sign of astrology and astronomy. You're supposed to be looking into all of that. You understand? You see, so you've gotten to the age of awakening. Even in the spirituality, yes, I mean, the pole star is still Polaris, which has a lot of symbolism with spirituality. So man is still within the spiritual cycle for a very long time. But we're in the age of Aquarius now, which is going to require a more practical approach in the aspect of not just letting oracles or deities do stuff for you. You have to know things for yourself. This is the age of knowledge and revelation and change. So we need to I'll talk about all of this in another video, right? So having Scorpio in the 10th place, some of them hold resentment against the father, some of them even lose their dad at certain points in their life. Sometimes at a young age too, they lose their dad. Some of them, those that don't lose their dad, live with the fact that they don't agree. They don't agree with their dad. They always at loggerheads with the disciplining parent, which is in one case is the father. Yes, most Aquarius are usually very, very, very rebellious, and most do. You resent the way the man conducts his activity. Oh, because you're my dad, you can just get up and just order me to do something. Forget that one. They happen. Capricorn in the 12th place. They can't stand, because the dad is the 12th place. The Capricorn is in the 12th place. Capricorn is the father, the dad. You understand? So these people lack no sense of obedience to authority. They have zero obedience to authority. Zero. You see, so because of that, it starts mostly from the family unit. The dad is whom they hold resentment to, but the mom is whom they usually love to serve, because they always want that nurturing vibe of the mom, So yeah, this is the sign of Aquarius, right? Yeah, this is the sign of Aquarius. So yes, I'll be doing I'll be doing Pisces next. Peace.